Hello, my name is Derek Scheller, and I am the owner of Scheller Cybersecurity and a senior cybersecurity consultant. I have seen a lot of things lately that have been frustrating to say the least. I have seen companies that have been breached and have not released the information in a reasonable amount of time, and or did not realize they were breached for countless months. I have seen cybersecurity professionals go months without being hired. And I have seen companies unwilling to hire other cybersecurity professionals. I was one of those people. I've been down the path of not knowing where my next dollar was going to come from because as I was retiring out of the Army, I still was unemployed following that. And I interviewed with some companies that didn't know exactly what they were looking for. They wanted somebody that was an expert analyst, but also knew a good deal about engineering and at the same time could be a pen tester. I've seen companies that wanted a consultant that they only wanted to pay minimal money for. And maybe somebody else could have taken those jobs. So I myself didn't. Some I was turned down for, some I turned down until recently. So the question comes down to, with these companies being breached and the number of jobs that are out there for cybersecurity personnel, why are there so many openings? And yet, why are there so many cybersecurity professionals going months without being employed? And I've talked to recruiters, I've talked to prospective employees, I've talked to employers, and in trying to find the root cause, some of it is on the people like myself who maybe were looking for a little too much, and some of it is on the companies. There is no such thing, in my humble opinion, as a cybersecurity expert. Cybersecurity is a broad term. It covers a lot of different avenues. And in my last written blog that I published a few days ago, I discussed 3 different courses for cybersecurity personnel that they can go. There's the governance route, risk and compliance, which overall deals with NIST, PCI, high trust, COBIT, the frameworks, the regulations, the policies, they go on and on. And in that role, you truly need to know enough to talk to all aspects of IT. So I myself come from a vast background, both through the military and civilian world and education, that I know every avenue. I can speak to a network administrator just as easily as I could speak to a system administrator. And I can speak to the cybersecurity people. But that's on paper. On paper, I hold a degree and certifications that cover all aspects, to include security. But in my free time, I study both aspects. I study the other 2 realms of security, offensive security and defensive security. Now, does that make me an expert by any means in any one area? No, it does not. I will never say I'm an expert pen tester because with web app, there's a lot to learn. And there's a lot of programs out there that can help you. As well with network pen testing, there's a lot to learn, but a little more process oriented and in my eyes a little bit easier. Then there's also the social engineering aspect of it and OSINT. And that all goes into the offensive side. Now on the defensive side of things, you have an analyst. You have what they call a security engineer. And those are the 2 broad terms on the defensive side. Now, I have seen positions for an ARC site engineer, which when you're looking for that, you are looking for somebody who has been siloed. So much so that maybe that is all they know. So if a question comes up from a different product, or if your company decides to go in a different direction and go to a different product, what are you going to do? I have seen companies and interviewed with companies that, like I said, wanted an analyst with probably 5 to 10 years of experience, who also had to be an engineer, and at the same time had to know the offensive side of things and pen testing. And this company wasn't willing to pay the salary, not for me. I was willing to take the job, but for somebody to come in with the amount of years of experience that they were looking for. So that leaves us to think, what's truly the problem? Excuse me. I want to believe that maybe us as security professionals aren't being honest with what we know, and or maybe we're reaching for the stars and should settle for a house, or, not so high, maybe reach a little bit lower. But the more I look at it and the more I see the knowledge of some of these professionals, the more I see what they've learned and what they can learn. Yeah, I'll put some of the blame on them, like myself. I didn't have a lot of the experience that these companies on the outside in the corporate world were looking for when I retired from the Army. So maybe I set my salary too high. Even though I had the degree and I had the certifications that said I know what I know, I didn't have the corporate experience. So I'll put that one on me. But with what I've seen on job descriptions, what I've seen in interviews, and from talking to other cybersecurity professionals, a lot of the blame has to be put on these companies. With breach after breach going on, and you have left open cybersecurity positions, really, what's the problem? Are you not willing to take that guy out of college? Are you not willing to hire that person that has put himself through, or herself, years of education and certification because they have not worked in an enterprise? They've proven to you that they can learn. That is the whole point of college. Prove that you can learn and that you can grow. And if you're not willing to hire that person that maybe lacks a little bit of experience, because you want someone that can come in and hit the ground running without a second thought and without any training, maybe you're the problem. Then again, maybe I'm wrong, because I do feel it's a combination of the two. Some of us reach too high, and some companies want too much. You want somebody that can do a 4-man job on a 1-man salary. You want to bring someone in on a contract work without ever giving them the opportunity for full-time and benefits. People have families. Benefits are a necessity. When you bring someone in on a contract, they're not guaranteed a job 6 months down the road. Because no matter what any company says, until it's on paper, it's not fact. So why don't we as a country, as cybersecurity professionals and corporations, come together? Let's truly learn. Let's learn that we as cybersecurity professionals can grow, adapt, and learn a lot quicker than these companies give us credit for. And companies realize that cybersecurity professionals are hungry, are willing to learn, and willing to do whatever it takes to keep your network secure. No company, no computer is ever going to be 100% secure. So do you in your heart feel that you have the team in place that when that breach happens, and it will, that you can mitigate it in time, that you can protect your assets, that you can protect your clients and your personnel? Or are you going to be paying for insurance? Are you going to be paying for LifeLock or some other means to protect these people's identities? Because at the end of the day, what's more important? That $100,000 a year salary you may pay somebody to come in and help secure your network and grow and learn with it and learn the programs that you're using? Or losing your reputation, losing your income, and losing your revenue, which could cost you millions. Think about it. Us as professionals are hungry. Some of us are hackers, but we fight for the good side. We fight for the side that wants to protect your network, that wants to protect your assets, wants to protect your clients. Some of us are analysts and engineers that'll do whatever it takes to respond, to take action, to make sure your network, when breached, that information does not leave, that you don't lose intellectual property, that you don't lose social security numbers, birth dates, names. See, in the social networking world, a lot of that information is available. Is your training up to snuff? Do you have a security professional in there that can teach your personnel what it's going to take? Because maybe it's your IT personnel that's the weak point. Maybe they're reusing the same password over and over and over again. Maybe your default passwords haven't been changed. Maybe you have an access point where the login is admin. Maybe your clients, your Windows boxes, have the default administrator still enabled with the name not being changed. Because I guarantee you, when that computer was set up, or at some point in time, that account was used. Which means all it takes is for one person to get in through social engineering, through a phishing email, or through a rogue USB drive, and they will own your network. You see, training is important. Us professionals are important. So quit saying there are millions of jobs available if you're not willing to hire the people that can secure your network. The goal was cybersecurity is coming up to the big boy table. Your CISOs were about to take charge. Budgeting was going to go more towards security. But company after company I talk to talks about how their budget has been cut. Money went elsewhere. Who knows? Maybe the CEO had to go on a vacation. I personally don't know. And this is not a knock against any CEO out there or anybody that's in charge. Because you know what? Maybe you weren't informed. Maybe you haven't seen the security news. Maybe you're not privy to what's going on, because there's been a whole lot of other news out there, and a lot of things have been swept under the rug. But the truth is, no network is secure. No computer is invulnerable, no matter what you do. It takes training, it takes education, it takes a security team, not a person, a team, to work together to secure a network. It takes a training program and a training regimen that's going to teach your users about changing passwords and not using the same password for their domain account that they're going to use for their Gmail and their Facebook and their bank. It takes teaching your users not to plug in that USB drive that they may have found laying around on the floor. But you see, teaching them and showing them a PowerPoint or showing them a little online training isn't going to cut it. An AUP, no matter what you put in there, all that does is cover you if something happens. That allows you to fire an employee. Maybe that employee was valuable, but they did something stupid. It happens. We're human. But if the training wasn't there in the first place to show them what can happen when they plug in a USB drive, then the fault is yours. Because as humans, we're curious. We want to know what's on that CD. We want to know what's on that USB drive. Whether we plug it in at home or we plug it in at work, something's going to get compromised. And again, the same passwords get used over and over. So it's only a matter of time. So why don't we start doing the proper training, hire the proper people, and quit saying that there are millions of jobs out there when there really shouldn't be, because there's millions of people that need jobs. Give them a chance. And by all means, if they can't cuss the mustard, and if they can't secure your network because they lied, then you have means to fire them. However, if you give them a chance to learn, give them a chance to grow, and if you realize that there are hundreds of thousands of security professionals that are willing to adapt and learn and grow and do things on a second's notice, then maybe you'll find that we're a lot more knowledgeable and a lot more capable than you give us credit for. And I know I sound angry. I know, as being a business owner that really isn't too successful right now as it just started, I sound angry. But it's because I am. I went months without a job. And I see fellow security professionals that have gone months without a job. Companies are greedy. They want to save every penny they can get. I understand. I get return on investment. So again, to those business owners, to those corporations, to those CEOs, CIOs, CISOs, I want you to truly think, do you have what you need to be secure? And when you're hiring personnel, are you setting your standards too high? Are you trying to hire somebody to do a 4-man job on a 1-man salary? Because if you are one of those companies, you're wrong. To me, it's like everything else. Not everybody wants to take a pay cut. We all want to make money. So do my fellow cybersecurity professionals. Now I found a job and I own a business. I'm a trainer. I'm a consultant. And I'll do what it takes to secure a network, to show a company where they are falling short in accordance with whatever regulation you go by. I will talk to security professionals and give them what they need to help better themselves. But I will be the first one to stand up and tell a CEO, CIO, CISO, you are not invulnerable. If you say you are asking to be breached. You are asking for an attacker to come in and take everything. Is that really what you want? Because you will lose reputation, you will lose money. More money than it would take to just pay a security professional, maybe 2, maybe 3, to come in and help your company. To help conform to regulation. But anybody that's looked at the regulations knows they are not strict enough. A 7-character password is not hard enough. A password that does not require special characters, numbers, letters, whatever, is not hard enough. Now, there are ways to go about it. There are ways to create a secure password and a secure network that will make you a harder target. Because you see, unless you're a Microsoft, a Google, an Amazon, Equifax, unless a company has a reason to breach you, or a hacker, they're just going to go after the low-hanging fruit. They're going to go after that company that has made themselves an easy target. That company that has fallen victim to a phishing attack, that has fallen victim to some other form of attack. Don't be that company. Hire the personnel, bring in the trainers, and develop a true training regimen and a true training program that will show your users how to be safe. If you don't do that, it's on you. Become the next victim. Become the next target. I can't change your mind. I can't force you to pay somebody. I can only give you the information. What you do with it is on you. This is the first of many blogs from here. I will show my fellow security professionals different tactics, different methods, different programs. I will show my fellow pen testers different tactics, different methods, different programs. Because until we come together, until we understand that us as white hat, gray hat, whatever you want to label us, that we are a collective. We are good at what we do. And we are hungry to learn. Until we come together, no network is safe. Let us put together our knowledge. Let us expand and grow and stay hungry. So, To the companies, the CEOs, the business owners, don't be a victim. To my fellow professionals, I'm here. If you need me, let me know. If there's something you want to learn, something you want me to show you, let me know. If there's something you feel I need to know, let me know. Until we meet again. Again, this is Derek Scheller, owner, senior cybersecurity consultant, trainer.